Hello, Legion. It's Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Civilization 6 Gathering Storm in our Carthage series. We are doing decently well so far. We just established two new cities, rather, in the last episode, and we're probably going to establish at least two more down here as we begin to build up some loyalty pressure. But we also, very importantly, just got our first swordsman ever of the game, and we have a good source of iron. We're producing 2 per turn, and a good gold income as well. So our higher level warriors, which honestly probably should have been converted first as opposed to the, entry level, level 1, level 0, if you want to call them that, because technically this is a level 3 unit, right? But the number says 2, so it always confuses you. So we should have technically promoted this one and this one first, but we are still doing well on the round, I think, especially when you consider that we are about to have horses in our territory. Right now we just have 1 horse, I think, that we got from a trade deal. So that situation is going to be getting better very, very soon. But we also have to choose some new research, some new civics policies. We are on good terms with Persia up here, and we are very likely on the doorstep of a kind of Punic War with Rome. We've got a free Kumasi, which will earn us some goodwill with the other civilizations. Maybe we'll meet more by the time that war starts. And then we've got to see if we can move on Rome and establish a bit of an empire. Because at the difficulty level we're playing on, which again is Emperor, it's one of those things where if you really want to get ahead, you've got to do some conquering early on. You can't just empire build, even though I do love me some empire build gameplay. So let's go ahead and go, well, hang on. Is there an obvious, yes, I need irrigation? Yes, there is. All right, there's wine up there. So we're going to go for irrigation, given that it's just going to be done in 1 turn. Then civics-wise, I have some choices to make as well. In 4 turns, we can get another governor title, as well as access to the Great Library, the Praetorium policy, and natural philosophy. Or we can go for defensive tactics, which give us a few new casus belli, the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, and some defensive policies. Let's go for that, just in case we end up needing it. And then I'm going to move this archer a little bit closer to this part of the territory. Now, we only have 1 trader at the moment. We need to work on that. We have another settler training here, granary finishing there, but just monuments in our 2 new cities. So those monuments, of course, are going to help with loyalty, but ideally we need, commercial centers and like harbors set up in these new cities so that we can have some lighthouses and some additional trade routes. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. All right, so this Byreme, now that we finally cleared this encampment, or rather that Granada finally cleared this encampment, can do a little bit of exploration. Do I want to send them up the coast? They wouldn't be able to get far unless I got through Alexander's territory. Well, hang on. Let's see if Alexander's willing to open his borders. First of all, yeah, he still doesn't want a delegation. He wants 9 gold. You know what? I'll pay him 9 gold to open his borders to me, and that way I can send, now that I don't have to keep an eye on that barbarian encampment anymore, I can send my ship up through his borders and continue to explore that part of the world. I want to try and do as much of that as possible early on this game, and this Byreme can do something similar, but of course we can't get around that ice. So I guess I'll send it up that direction as well. And we did just change governments, so if we wanted to go for a new policy, we could. Although I think I'm happy with what I have. Yeah, 100% holy site bonuses. We already have a religion, and we have a missionary on the way. If you don't remember from the last episode, because it's been a few days, we are playing with the Exodus of the Evangelists dedication bonus. So every city that we convert, including our own, to our religion will give us an era score bonus. So we're going to need to play that up as much as possible. And there we go. The world has entered the medieval era. And we're in the first session of the World Congress. Hey! All right, well, this is a good place to start as far as new features from Gathering Storm, right? So we only have 29 diplomatic favor. That's kind of our currency that we can use to participate in resolutions here. Rome has a lot more. So does Persia. So does Alexander. This might have to do with the fact that we spent a lot of time fighting barbarians first couple of episodes rather than establishing cities and relationships and doing things that would curry diplomatic favor. Or it might just be the difficulty setting. But, all right, so we can either, for mercenary companies as a resolution, we can vote to increase the cost of certain military units, that are produced using a certain currency type, or we can reduce their cost. So essentially we can say, I want them to be cheaper in terms of just producing them. I want them to be cheaper to buy, or cheaper to buy with faith. So I'm going to go ahead and just say production. I want them to be cheaper. And our first vote is always free. So we can vote simply by being a member of the World Congress without using up any of our favor. That's how this system works. But then you can use additional favor to kind of wield your influence. And in terms of which proposal wins out, it's number one, whichever player has the most votes, or whichever choice has the most votes, but then the votes are weighted by the proportion of their diplomatic favor that was used to cast them, of the player's total diplomatic favor. So if you go all in on something, if someone else cast the same number of votes as you did, but you going all in was compared to their only using half of their diplomatic favor on that same number of votes, you would win because you used up a greater proportion of your influence to cast those votes. That makes it the tiebreaker would break in your favor. All right, so there's that. Patronage, select an outcome for this resolution. Earn double points towards great people of this class, or no points towards great people. You can close the window and have a look. A great general would be nice if we're up against Rome. Looks like we're already making progress toward Hildegard of Bingen. That's probably where people are going to vote. There are some players making a good deal of progress towards great merchants. Interesting. Okay, well, let's resume Congress, and why don't we say double points toward, let's just go with the flow. Double points toward great scientists. And I don't think I'm going to use any of my favor. I think I'm just going to keep this as is, use my basic free votes without costing myself any of my diplomatic favor. And we're going to submit. Still 4 players with me. Okay, so production is now cheaper, and great merchants will be earned faster.
The man who has grit enough to bring about the afforestation or the irrigation of a country is not less worthy of honor than its conqueror.
Thank you, Sean. All right, so we, in one more turn, are going to be able to promote that swordsman. I'm very excited about that. In the meantime, though, I want to make sure that I have all of my units in place as needed. We'll go ahead and put you in Tyre. And we need to establish more of a religious presence, because right now, our religion is not particularly strong. So we'll be able to convert Lipikui, which, by the way, I had a commenter point out, and I haven't verified this, but it's really cool if it's true, that this is actually the Carthaginian name for the African coastal city, Roman coastal city of Leptis Magna, which is where, still to this day, some of the most pristine Roman ruins on the African coast still exist. So it's really cool if this is Leptis Magna. I'm not going to change it because we're playing as Carthage, not Rome, but I loved hearing that, and I appreciate that commenter very much for pointing that out. All right, so I kind of want horseback riding sooner, but the thing is, if I go for currency, I can establish, like I said, some additional trade routes, possibly within the next few turns, which will help me economically for the rest of the game. Horsemen I'll have soon enough, I believe. All right, so you're not a member of our religion yet. I won't be able to purchase a library with faith, but we can go for that lighthouse, as I was discussing, because we've now built the Kothon here. Nice to have that finished. So that's providing a little bit of extra gold per turn. Very, very nice. Let's move our units up this direction. Have them continue to scout. And yeah, let's just put you on alert. Next turn, please. Trade emissary, your delegation is most welcome, Cyrus. Excellent. That's a little bit of free gold for me.
Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants.
Indeed it does. All right, so let's go ahead and promote you, or rather upgrade you. Sooner or later, I'll just use the correct term every time and never have to correct myself there. There's promoting and upgrading units in Civilization 6. And they are different things. What we just did is an upgrade. Okay, so +1 movement for all naval units. That's a good scouting move to make now. Although I would like the Aqueduct District as soon as I can. Of course, it's not a special district for us since we're playing as Carthage, not Rome. I have been playing some Gathering Storm off screen just to kind of get my feet wet, and I've played as Rome a good bit. So I was looking at the Bath District thinking, or there you go. I was looking at the Aqueduct District thinking Bath District. I was like, wait a minute, it's not going to be as good. I'm not playing as Rome, but it's still nice to have. I just don't have any cities that, well, actually Tyre could use one, technically. Okay, so our settlers can embark now, and I want to show you what happens when we embark a settler as Carthage. All right, so, well, we'll have to look next turn. But now that this settler's in the water, we're going to put them there. Their ability to come down and found a new city very quickly is thoroughly impressive. Okay, I definitely want this temple so that we can have an apostle as soon as we can. And we have 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 envoys. We could steal Armagh, or we could also steal Nazca from Trajan. What's Nazca's bonus? Builders can make Nazca line improvements. +1 faith to adjacent tiles, +1 faith to adjacent tiles with resource, +1 food to adjacent desert and desert hill tiles. +1 production to adjacent flat tiles after researching mass production. So production later in the game, but primarily faith. And then food in desert and desert hill tiles, which we don't have nearby after discovering civil service. So that's not particularly useful to me. Remind me about the Alcazar. +2 culture. That is potentially more useful. Occupying unit receives +4 defense strength and automatically gains 2 turns of fortification. Cannot be built next to another Alcazar. So we could go ahead and be Granada's first suzerain ever and get some Eris Corps for that. Or we can go straight for Bandar Brunei, and every market and lighthouse would give us additional gold starting now. See, the thing is, though, this would help us with the production of units if we're in a war with Rome, and give us some Eris Corps right now. So let's... This will give us additional faith per turn, which could be handy. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's go for Armagh and Granada in one go. There we go. We're the first suzerain of Granada. Excellent. Let's keep moving up that direction. Hey! Yoga bro. What's up, buddy? Yeah, da. Such a nice guy. He's good to his friends. It's an honor to meet you. Exchanging information on our capitals is a great idea. Where are you? All the way up here? Aw, you're far away, Gilgy. Yay! He accepted my tribute. No, I don't want to declare surprise war. Why would I do that? That makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, so let's go ahead and we've already converted Lipikiwi. We're going to bring this missionary back down here to take these 2 cities. Now look at this. Oh, we haven't actually changed turns yet. Never mind. Don't look at that settler. Not yet. All right, so we found Alexander's capital of Pella. Seems he has just like 2 cities so far, not a ton of territory. Welcome rainfall. Yeah, there was a drought up near Cyrus. I remember that. Somebody's already built the Great Library. That's interesting. Hey, got some tornadoes occurring literally on top of some elephants. Near our territory, too. So those could move around and be problematic in that area. I don't know if storms are... Well, maybe they are. Yeah, I think in like maybe lots of strong plains regions, you might have storms occurring a lot. Whereas in deserts, of course, you have like Habub. That's a particular type of dust storm. You have dust storms, you have blizzards in snow tiles. So I guess in maybe plains you would see tornadoes a lot. That would be the regional effect there. Because there are regional storms. That's what I was about to say. It's like, I'm not sure if there are regional, kind of effects. But of course there are. Like if you have lots of, for instance, snow tiles, you have blizzards. So if you have lots of plains, you probably have snow. But yeah, look at this. The settler can now move that far in just 1 turn. So we're going to keep them in the water and have them come all the way down here. And what's even more amazing is their ability to ride up on a tile and just settle on it almost immediately. So we're probably going to do 1 more coastal city. I would imagine probably here, because we need, well, let's look at this. If we did one here, it wouldn't be as good housing-wise, but it would allow me to build a canal, which, well, see, that ice is problematic. Yeah, it almost makes me look forward to climate change to where that ice goes away a little bit. I don't want all the climate change, but, okay, we'll have to think about that next turn. Cross that bridge when we come to it, no pun intended. Do you know? Whoa, that was a sinister laugh. Okay. Gilgamesh wants some diplomatic favor, and he's willing to give me 7 gold per turn for it, and open his borders while I open mine, as long as I give him 34 diplomatic favor. I want to be on good terms with you, buddy. I really do, but I don't want to give up that diplomatic favor. I'm sorry. especially given that everyone else had more of it last time I
Without
checked.
mathematics, there's nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics. Everything around you is numbers.
Okay, so +1 movement for all naval units has been acquired. That's part of why we went for that technology right away. So our units can scout a little farther. And of course, the storm has raged on. So it's closer to Z's now, which is potentially bad. As a matter of fact, that somewhat interferes with my settlement plans. All right, so if I were to take this settler and put them here, I could do a canal that would allow boats to get out to this part of the area, but I wouldn't be able to do a canal that would allow... You can't do more than one canal district, I don't think. I think you can only do one per city. Hang on, let's take a quick look, because I'm not as familiar with these yet. It's the one thing I haven't played around with too much. 3-way canal junctures are not allowed. So it's built on flat land to connect 2 bodies of water or a body of water to a city center. Three-way canal junctures are not allowed, meaning you can't go midway into a canal and then have like a fork in the road. Okay, this is a little bit dicey, but I'm going to try it because it would be an awesome canal location if I'm right. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and I'm sure people will tell me in the comments if so. See what happened? We put our settler on land here, and he was able just to immediately, you know, we can settle right away. Super settlers, as long as you can embark them, which is why we were waiting for that. So if I put the settler here, this would potentially get rid of a... Yeah, needs to be here. There's no argument for it being anywhere else. All right, let's put this horseman... Oh no, let's not, because that'll put them in the tornado. Jebel Barkal has been built by someone. We are no longer Suzerain of Granada. That's rude. Let's go for horseback riding, because horsemen. Engineering will come in handy before long, but not just yet. Let's go for the monument in Utica. It seems like our missionary will be able to convert some cities soon. Good. Yeah, we can move a lot farther with our naval units now. And so we're going to try and get some exploration done. Oh, shut up. Trajan's making me an interesting offer. He's going to open his borders, which would give me some more diplomatic access to him and give me more information about just what he's doing with his life, as long as I give him 1 amber. Do I want to help my potential enemy in order to get some extra gold per turn while we prepare to fight him? And some diplomatic favor from him? And more information on his movements? Let's do that. I'm even going to say that I'll get rid of that 1 gold he's going to give me, just to maybe improve his favor towards me just slightly. It's a good thing to do. If the AI offers you a deal they think is fair, you can take something off the table on your side that would make it an easier deal for them. If you want to improve favor with them. All right, so you can go for a Kothon here in Z's, and I think that's probably a good idea since it's a coastal city, but is there anything before that? I think, yeah, the granary still. Just so that the city is growing as quickly as possible early on in Z's. And on that note, let's have you, because this is all about loyalty right now, and loyalty growth. And that's all based on citizen count in the area. That's what we're going to focus on. Yeah, same thing here. We just want the city to grow quickly. Let's do that. Now you, I think I can promote. Very good. Oh, good. So the trader in Lipikui is done, which means I can... I think Utica is probably the smartest city to set up a trade right in, or possibly Z's, since it's closer. I mean, there's really an argument for any of them, but let's do Utica just so that there's a road going all the way up that direction. It'd be the most efficient thing to do, as far as building a network. All right, so Alexander does have more territory inland that I wouldn't have seen if I hadn't sent this boat up here. He's got a quadrireme up north, and we've hit the upper and lower bounds of the map. Okay, so we have Mount Kazbek has just become active and could erupt at any time. All right, so we need more amenities in some of our cities, but we're gonna work on that for sure. Apadana has been built. Need more housing in Tyre. I'm working on it. Okay. I think I will just go ahead and send this trader to... Oh, that's unfortunate. I wanted the road to go all the way up. If I sent you to Inuk, the road would go part of the way, but it wouldn't be nearly as good of a growth route. So we're going to have to just do the road between Utica and Ziz. And we'll have more traders available to us soon, so we'll just take advantage of that when we can. Right, let's go one tile that way. We've met the city-state of Antioch. Good, another economic city-state to leverage if we need to. Oh good, the city converted of its own accord, which is actually kind of annoying. These horses are in our territory now. We need to improve them, of course, but that's a step in the right direction.
Invincibility lies in the defense. The possibility of victory in the attack.
Alright, declare Reconquest War and declare Protectorate War. Have a couple of new casus bellis. I think I want to go for military training next. Yeah, especially because of the horses and iron resource bonus. If we went for equestrian orders, which is a military policy, all improved horses and iron resources yield additional 1 resource per turn. Very handy policies to have early on. Okay, I'm going to be able to buy a library with faith in Lipicui in the very next turn, so we'll hold off on anything else. I do have the ability to set up an additional trader, so let's do that. And I can promote you. Ooh, yeah, settlers trained in the city do not consume a population. Let's do that, because we are going to be putting out several settlers after this temple is done. Okay. Unfortunately, Antioch is blocking us for now. If we were to become Suzerain of Antioch, that could change. Policy-wise, do I want to shift anything? I don't think so. I like the idea of having great general points per turn, though. Let's maybe take away the production bonus towards settlers, now that I'm a little bit more comfortable with the number of settlers I have, and I'm going to go for the additional great general points per turn. If we're going to fight Rome, we want to make sure we're ready. Alright, there's some era score for that. And we'll get some era score for converting Utica as well.
A man on a horse is spiritually as well as physically bigger than a man on foot.
Alright, so that missionaries was able to move just a little bit faster on account of the trade route there that's already beginning to be built. So construction gives us terracotta army, or let's go for engineering because of the aqueduct district. That'll be particularly handy. The city of Tyre could technically have an aqueduct, although we would have to get rid of that copper in order to make it happen. Utica would not benefit from an aqueduct, sadly. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to move our units into all the little nooks and crannies of the outer banks to see what else we can discover with them. That's the plan. Meenakshi, I was about to say Meenkashi, but the Meenakshi temple has been built by Cyrus. That's a new wonder. Let's scratch that itch really quickly. Grants 2 gurus. Gurus are 30% cheaper to purchase. Religious units adjacent to gurus receive +5 religious strength and theological combat and +1 movement. Ooh, that's quite a wonder as far as the religion game goes. Good to know. Yeah, so we're just going to do this. We're going to dance around in, like I said, the outer banks of places. And then if we can manage to get Suzerain status of Antioch, we'll have that conversation then. All right, there's that. A little bit more era score for me there. We still have a number of turns until the next era. Rome has switched governments to theocracy. So Rome is doing pretty well for themselves. Let's go ahead and train another settler. If I put you on production focus, the settler will be done a little sooner, but the city will actually shrink. Food focus doesn't do anything for the moment. Purchase that with faith, as was the plan. Builders, see, we can move the capital to Lipicui if we wanted to. We're probably going to move the capital down to the city that we build here, I would think. But I think the mausoleum at Halicarnassus would be a good idea to try and go for. We could put it here. Ooh, that's a good idea. If we got it, it would be a great wonder to have. We might want to use this trader to support its construction. As much as I would like roads to connect the rest of my new cities and to help my new cities grow a little faster, I want that wonder. What the mausoleum at Halicarnassus does is it allows every... First of all, I think every great admiral or great engineer gets 2 charges. Which one is it? You get a free great admiral, but every Great Admiral and Great Engineer can use their charges twice as opposed to once for the rest of the game, which is really nice. All right, so we have a new trader that we just finished training here. And again, maybe we want to support the construction of that wonder. What we can do in order to build the roads we need to build. See, that's going to go through the water. I don't want it to go through the water. Let's have the city connect into Inuk so that we have that road there. Killing two birds with one stone, a little bit. A little bit. A little bit. Okay, Alexander's just established the city of Alexandria Troas.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Engineers believe that if it ain't broke, it doesn't have enough features yet.
Ha! Okay, so we can now build the wonder of Machu Picchu, which is another new wonder. Mountain tiles provide a standard adjacency bonus to commercial hub, theater square, and industrial zone districts in all cities.
Kill, how come men have to go into training to learn how?
Okay, so that's going to be a handy policy to take advantage of, but we aren't going to be able to do it just yet. The one I mentioned about the strategic resource yields. Let me go ahead and just go for construction. As much as I want to do apprenticeship right now, let's go ahead and just finish out our classical era tech. And then civics-wise, once again, we finished 2 at the same time. Let's go for recorded history. And I have 1 envoy. I can go ahead and get some additional gold per turn in the capital if I try and put someone in at Antioch, and I want to do that. Always a good move to make, because it's 1 envoy for 4 gold per turn. It's a pretty good deal, I have to say. And on that note, I'll stop this one here, and the next one we are going to establish 1 more city on the Jordan River, probably right there or so, in order to be near this wheat, maybe more in this direction, so that it's closer to Kumasi. We might even move our capital to that city, and that would be a great way to... well, converting Kumasi with loyalty pressure would mean that it would not be its own city-state anymore, and I kind of want it to be its own city-state. I want to free them, if possible. But still, we could have other cities down this direction that we could use Carthage's special ability with. But for now, I'll stop here. More to do in the coming episodes. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.